Welcome to the best two-wheeler show in East and Central Africa, north of the Sahara, south of the Limpopo. This is Behind the Helmet. My name is Kerry Kagiri, and as you know, we bring you interesting guests that you get to experience who they are behind the helmet. Today's guest is no different. He is the champion for men's health, mental health, wellness, and also physical health and wellness. We'll be having a lot of conversations, but meanwhile, you can check out DGR, that's a Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Use that hashtag to be able to see what I'm talking about. But first, I get to beat him during game time. You know I'm always representing. Let's do this.
So the rules of the game are simple. Before you are multicolored jelly sweets and 5 cups. You are to arrange the jellies into each cup according to color. First one to accurately separate the jellies into their respective colors gets a win. Go for it in 3, 2, 1, go!
Bring yourself.
Odek ndo dedi yako. Nakucheki na hivi watu wengine. Najua hii mambo. My friend, have you ever been beaten by a girl? Do you know how it feels like?
Nyamaza kiche.
Faster, how can you say a word nyamaza? How can you tell your congregants
Nyamaza tu.
Nyamaza. Nyamaza. Sasa ni gani? You guys is being unfair. He's being unfair to me. Guy. You guy bala. What's the issue?
Check.
What's the issue? I know you're very competitive. This is one way to know about someone. By the way, you can know more about someone in a year of play, in an hour of play than in a year
Check hizi kala zangu
of
zifanane zote.
conversation.
Mtu lazima confirm. Accuracy. Hakuna.
I know what the issue is.
Zangu zilikuwa mingi.
No, mikono no.
Zangu zilikuwa mingi.
Mikono.
Nimeconfirm. Hebu angalia zako vingi kidogo.
Mikono ni
Tuhesabu.
Mikono ni. No, tumelewa kuna equality.
Time is up.
Hakuna time gani?
You know, I don't know what to say. I just want to say, well done.
For?
Great effort.
No. Those things were mine were many than yours.
Can I tell you something interesting? You are actually not colorblind.
I've been told before.
How's the game though?
It was interesting. I was going to beat you.
But
now zangu zilikuwa more because I tried counting.
Zangu zilikuwa less.
Zako zilikuwa less. Ulikuwa unakula zingine.
Oh wow. So I just want to say thank you. I don't know why, by the way. Nimekuwa on a winning streak, and it's just it makes me emotional because
it's okay. It's okay.
Growing up,
it's okay.
I never used to like
win. Okay, then I give it to you. You won.
With me on set is Odek himself, and he'll be introducing himself. I don't think I can do your introduction justice because you are so many things, and it's so interesting that God puts our paths together in so many places. It's like you're that brother.
It's many years.
So many years.
So many years.
So what's this introduction that you want our viewers to get to know you for?
My name first, which is very important. Kelvin Odek. A husband, full-time.
A full-time husband.
Full-time husband.
Okay. Kuna watu wako half-time.
Full-time. A father of 3.
Ooh-wee.
Again, full-time father.
Wow.
So wananikimbiza.
Yes.
3 children.
By the way, his kids like love him. I've never met a guy who like the kids are daddy.
Yeah, it's because of the bike.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
yes. 3 children, a pastor. That's what I do. Like every day, that's my passion, serving with young people. Then the other thing is I have a passion for men in terms of their mental health, well-being, and all those, which I enjoy doing. And so I plan things to do with men. I'm a biker. I enjoy riding. I've been riding for. I'm still a newbie, so just a few years.
How many years?
Yeah,
I'm really curious.
A few years.
Okay.
I'm a newbie.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why even I walked with you at some point.
Yes. Let's not go into that part.
That's a story we have to talk about
no.
today.
Okay.
That's the beauty about being here.
Choma for me.
I'm an MC. Corporate, do events. That's why even our paths cross a lot.
Weddings, funerals. Zote. By the way, guys, call him.
Kila kitu.
Yeah. He wears like a suit.
If you depending with the event,
Yeah.
if I'll wear a suit, tie tu ndio usiniambie nivae.
Please.
Hiyo utaninyonga.
Go allergic.
Yeah, I told my wife hata nikikufa usijaribu kunzika na tie. Ndarudi.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh no. But also, uko na shingo nono, si no? Sorry.
See hivyo we.
It's only a day that can bully yourself. I love it. So you are so many things. But this two-wheeler, let's start with your journey. I'm very curious. When is the first time ulifikiria, hii mambo ya matatu, mambo ya gari, najua ni mtu wa magari kubwa kubwa.
Amen.
When did you think I could do two wheels?
No, I've always loved bikes. So I used to. And then influenced by Reverend Nick.
Of course.
Okay, so anytime would have a prayer day, I'd be like, wow, this vitu zinakaa fiti.
Yeah.
So one of my dreams even as I was growing up was to buy a bike, a speed bike, then sitakuwa na ride.
Right.
Na kwa tu naamka naiona, nasema iko sawa.
Wow.
Okay, but
Ni
yangu at least nimeown. Okay, but now later I started just getting interested and having questions. Then I bought a bike even before starting to train.
What?
So I bought the bike. Ilikuwa tu kwa parking fulani hapo hivyo.
At least you had your dream. Ni yangu.
Nilienda nikanunua. Kwanza mtu alikuwa anaenda nikamwambia kwanza wewe acha tuombe uishie. Ndio niachie bike. So kweli alienda, so akaniachia bike. Took the bike in.
Okay, kwenda si kwenda heaven.
No, alikuwa na travel, alikuwa na relocate at that time.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
sorry.
don't kill people for bikes.
Okay, yeah. So I left the bike, took it. That's where my journey started. Went to riding school. Then that's how from one bike to the other. But there's a different story to it, where I bought the bike as an easier way to die.
Do you want to talk about it a little?
So,
Please get your ticket.
So there's a season of my life. So I loved bikes, but there was a season in my life where I was struggling mentally and everything. So I thought, you see, if nikijinyonga, watu watasema wewe likufa kifala. And you hata uwezi explain ukienda binguni.
Right.
Unaget? So I was like, okay, what's the easiest and that people will not question? So I was like, getting a bike, then crash somewhere and no one will. Everyone will be like, okay, this is what's happened. So I bought the bike. And so it was one of the ways what I was thinking until my mindset changed when I was riding, and I realized this is one of the things that makes me happy doing.
So what I hear you say is that you had like a therapeutic moment
Yes.
that made you relax, that
Yes.
made you feel, okay, I'll use the word alive.
Alive. It actually made me alive, where I felt fulfilled being on that bike. And so the journey continued, where from now moving my thoughts to, okay, I actually love this, I actually enjoy it, it keeps me free, it shows me, Odek, you can actually do something.
And there's a reason for living.
Yeah,
maybe.
so that's how I took it.
Wow. Okay. And so is this where also your passion to have conversations on men's mental health came in? When did this start?
So again, writing stories. So we had this November. It's usually a man's month, and there was this ride that we went somewhere. I remember very well. It was waterfront. So we had a ride in the morning with this particular riding group, and so later we went on a conversation where we just went and had breakfast together, and people started opening up and talking and discussing the issues they're going through, their hardships, the things that have been going through their minds. And you could hear people saying that, by the way, I've actually thought of taking my life. And as I'm seated there, I'm like, that's actually me, because I've never shared it with anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm seated listening to this conversation. I'm like, wow, okay. So there are people who are actually going through. Mpaka yangu na kandogo. I'm like,
Right.
wow, okay. So I didn't want that thing to end. So, but okay, good things have to end at some point. So everyone talked their hearts out, and it's hard to see men talking like that because they felt it was safe. So time came when we had to go home, and I was like, hey man, mimi naenda wapi? Yeah, so I was like, I'm starting to look for friends.
You're
Because
still as single as a mango seed that time?
mbaya sana
Okay.
mbaya sana
Yeah.
nilikuwa tu mtu watu anatembea peke yake
Yeah.
anajikunja na ngumi, unajua vitu najifunika na ngumi vitu tu. So I'm seated here and I'm like, hey guys, we were dating with my wife at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do I go home alone, and now with the realization of where I am at? So I looked around, I was like, I started calling my friends, and that time is when people are not available. Everyone is doing their own thing. There are people that are not answering calls, nini. I'm like, okay. So I went to Tao, okay, with the bike. In fact, I think that was years after my dad now realized. I rode for like 4 years without my dad knowing, or even my parents, because I knew if they know, itakuwa ni story. So went there. He saw the bike. We started having conversations, and I remember I was having a T-shirt of your event.
Yeah.
Okay, where it said "Men Matter,"
Yeah.
and that is what picked the conversation with my dad.
Oh.
And with the realization, I'm like, okay, awesome. Okay, so we started talking about deep stuff about men and everything. Then I slowly started realizing of how depressed I've been through my entire, for some time. And so even him, he tells me now I have to go home to my wife. I'm like, guy, pia unaniacha buda.
Okay,
This is
I'm
unishia wapi manze. So I went home. That was the hardest night for me,
Wow.
because now all these thoughts are coming in,
Right.
and I remember someone saying, you don't have to deal alone. So at that point is when I called a few of my friends and I was like, guys, this is where I'm at. If you guys, and I've never seen people leaving everything to check up on you, and they're like, where are you? And all those guys. And that's when now the thought came in, because I was like, if I'm like this, how many men are like this out there who don't have help? At least I was able to find help with my friends. But how many guys are going through the same thing? They don't have a safe space. And that's how Men Let's Talk, the dream started.
Love it. Man, let's talk. Now, when you see a buff guy with the devils talking about his emotions, guys, it's just a sign. This is your time to take up this chance to have a conversation with someone who you find as a safe space and to just talk through. I think for me, when I'm riding, I try to play some music or not. But when I'm riding or driving, it's my time to just be in silence and process my thoughts. And so I think it's an important thing to encourage anyone to find a hobby.
Something they enjoy
Something
doing.
meaningful to
And
you.
not work.
No, your work is not a hobby,
Oh,
please.
yes.
It is not a hobby.
Yeah.
Find something somewhere, and preferably on two wheels. There's some air that gongas you. You know that centrifugal force. Just throwing it out.
Hata ukilia hata kuna mtu atajua. Juu unafunga tu helmet hivi upepo inatuliza songa kila kitu. No. Ukitoka wasema vitu zimeniingia macho.
Well, then let's talk. Maybe just in as we wrap up that part, because I'm very curious about sharing the road, and that's why this is there, because I want people to see the man behind the helmet. Let's talk about your triggers and things that have maybe caused you to realize, or even triggers that you've noticed around your friends that make men feel unsafe, or make men feel lost, or make men feel hurt. And you can answer this however you want. But I'm just very curious, even as we go on a short break in a few.
Triggers towards them.
Their mental health, their wellness, their...
Moja kubwa sana kwa kuachwa. Unajua? Kuachwa ni trigger moja kubwa, because it reminds you of the rejections you faced.
Wow, so one breakup reminds you that you are rejected in class 2.
Yes.
That this happened to you in class 4.
So you keep on carrying this through and through.
Wow.
Okay. The other one is just maybe something you went through and you've never dealt with it. Past traumas. And this is something, they might look small, but they are huge in someone's life. Where sometimes you see something and it just reminds you of your past. And you're like, okay, what is all this? And so...
Or why am I so angry about someone saying a certain thing
You know, even road road rage.
Road rage.
If you think about it, sometimes it's just something, either you learn somewhere, something happened and you keep on doing it. And I keep on making fun and saying, if you want something to make you disciplined, please ride a bike and you'll realize how you have to be disciplined when you road rage inaishaga. Because you're like,
You just be humble.
you'll be like, mimi siko kwa gari,
Yeah.
hii ni maisha yangu.
Yeah.
So some of the things that, there are things you went through, and most of these things are usually a past experience that you carry to. So if you don't deal with them now, then they'll affect how you're a father to your children, how you're a husband to your wife, your
How you are in your workplace.
Yes, workplace, and everything, because
How
it
you
affects
relate to
with people. Yeah, so if it's not dealt with, then that's what happens.
I love it. When we come back, we'll find out if Odek has a shamba, number 1, or 2. Number 3, we'll also find out what he thinks about how to relate on the road, because as in my observation, I've got to ride with him severally. He's such a safe rider. He's one of the people who literally doesn't need to show you his muscle. Like, you bet you're very graceful on your bike. Although it's quite fast. Like, usimbo. Okay, and sorry, utawasho, alafu utayamufikia. But otherwise, one of the things I notice about you is that you ride really nicely, and people need to kind of watch you, please. Like, watch Odek. We'll be right back after this short break.
Release your creativity into the world around you and explore your mind without limits at the only place that lets you do so. The Vasha Creatives Hub is the home of sugar, spice, and everything nice for all creatives. With a lens, a mic, and a little help, it's lights, camera, action on the go. A soundproof facility for your podcast, and the very first step to your own show with our state-of-the-art setup. Studio hire services at prices so low, photoshoots for all your occasions, and our green screen package is so unreal, there is no way you could say no. So, what are you waiting for? Head on down to the Vasha Creatives Hub on Thika Road, right next to KCA University, and get all your artistic needs sorted out. For bookings, call 0724 500 574 today.
And we're back. We had a really, really emotional beginning of the show.
Kuna tissues hapa.
Yes, please. Yeah, but it would be so weird for me to watch you cry. But
Yeah, I
it's
know.
okay to
I know.
cry. But I don't know, like, what I'll be like,
How do you handle it?
I'll be like, there, bro.
Yeah.
Ama nikwambia tu, take 5. But men, let's talk. Find a nice space, and Odek creates that kind of space for you. Please follow him on Men Let's Talk. Follow his personal page. DM him. He loves to talk to people and meet with people. It would be really nice just to continue those conversations. Now we're on the road on 2 wheels. Odek, umeanguka wapi na wapi?
So let me tell you an interesting story. Sijai anguka.
Ever.
I have dropped my bike. but
Tell
I
me.
haven't- So the first time I dropped my bike was Yaya Center.
Yeah. No. That's too open.
So,
Yaya Center.
let me tell you the story.
What the hell?
So I saw the weather changing, and I was
Yeah.
like, I can beat this rain.
You can.
And you see, if you understand nini za barabara, they say better you ride when mvua ni mingi
Yes.
kuliko ile kidogo.
Yes. Because then
So
it's
drizzling,
like,
it's yes. So this particular time, so I was leaving side ya Yaya, heading to Ngong Road. Then there's like a junction somewhere here. So I decided, I'm like, okay, I don't want to go this way, so let me branch off this way. So as I'm branching off, I've indicated, I've shown where I'm going, but there's this City Hopper guy coming. Okay, he's not stopping. So I'm like, okay, what do? I get scared. I just let the bike go,
and you run for your life.
and I move away.
Did you crash the bike?
No. So the guys who were behind me came on like, hey, pole tumeona nini imefanyika. I'm like, yeah, I didn't even want to talk because one of the things I say, if I'm wearing my helmet, you'll not know if it's me.
That's true.
So hata sitaki kupatia sauti na kufanya tu hivi
That's all right. On behind the helmet.
because unaweza ni judge.
Yeah.
After
Listen,
that,
it's a black man for black Africa. That's what they do.
after that I picked my bike, went, tried starting it. It refused for a few minutes, then it started. Nikasema mali itasimama ni nyumbani.
Yeah.
Ilisimamia nyumbani ukweli.
Wow.
I was like, I'm not going to stop again. Someone might recognize me and be like,
You
alianguka.
do it. Oh, man.
So that was the first. I just dropped the bike. The other
Let's
one,
go to a BMW. Let me just make a
no, I did
comment.
have a BMW at that time.
Okay, but let me just make a comment. Because wearing a BMW t-shirt, they say, we descend off the bike gracefully. AKA, walianguka, like a bag of potatoes. But yake ni could drop the bike. I understand what that means.
Yeah, so the other one was on behind Ngong Hills.
Okay.
Um,
Where nobody could see you.
yeah, because it was rocky. It had rained again. I don't know why this experiences with rain. So I just found myself. I don't know what happened to the bike. Chini broke a side mirror, but I was like, you know what, 22. But
Yeah.
hata without the side mirror, so
Traffic.
nilifix yangong.
Okay.
But those are the number of times. But falling, no, God
No.
has been gracious.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you're also very meticulous and you're very detailed. Tell me about what that is about, because this bike was supposed to be an end to life, but now you found a lease of life. Tell me about that.
So nowadays, every time I'm riding, especially when I'm about to ride too fast, a voice comes to my head and I hear the voice of my children. And I'm like, I have to go back to them. So I always say this, I ride not to die, but I ride to get home.
And then comes this crazy human who is like, get this little two-wheel thing out of my way. What would you say to that person who does not think about you and consider you as a father, as a husband, as a leader in society, as a lover of other men?
There's a time this guy, so in fact I think I had now the big bike that I have now, so on Ngong Road. And so this guy, you could see, I think he was just stressed from somewhere. So I'm trying to turn, the guy is just coming at me. So I move away, then I ask him what's wrong. He's like, nyinyi watu wa boda boda nyinyi. I'm like, hold up, my guy.
This is 2 million. This is
hold
1
up,
million.
hold up. So in my mind, there are things I wanted to tell him, but I was like, I realized maybe this guy is just going through something.
Yeah.
But just tell them that,
Why did you tell him, excuse me, my bike is more expensive than your car?
no, I just realized he was stressed.
Okay.
There's something he was going through. And for those people, we are people who have families. Let me say that. We have families, we have careers, and we just want to be recognized to share the road with us, because the same way you'll go complaining to the cops if something happens is the same right we have.
Yeah.
So we need to be gracious to one another and don't assume everyone is a boda boda rider.
Yeah. You've had the chance to serve the Private Bike Association of Kenya for some time. What are some of the amazing things that you've witnessed with that community that is seemingly growing?
The togetherness.
Yeah.
I think one of my greatest joys is usually the prayer day.
Right.
Because just seeing different people
Oh
coming.
yeah, and he put it together this year. It was lit. I'm sure there's a lot of footage. Guys showed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing number of guys coming in from different religions. I think that's one of the things, that it's not just it's not just Christians, but different people coming in to pray and to say, God, take care of us. Okay, that community gives me a lot of joy. And you see, the other thing is how when you're riding, you'll always think if you meet a biker, even if you're riding for the first day, you'll think you've known each other for
That's
like
just
10
like
years.
my family.
Because it's like you meet and you just connect.
Right.
Okay, even if you've never met,
Right.
there's something that brings you together. And that's one of the things I've loved about the community. The Nyumba Kumis, I've been able to be in different Nyumba Kumis, which is also good just
Oh
to
yeah,
see
he's like, how many Nyumba are you in Odek?
a number.
How many?
A number.
Shout them out.
So there's Lower Kabete, yeah. There's Lakiki,
Lakiki is
Lavington, Kilimani.
Kileleshwa.
Yes, Lakiki is Lower Kabete. No, LK something, Lower
Yeah,
Kabete, Nyumba
yeah,
Kumi.
yeah.
Then there's Wanye Road.
Yeah.
New
New
Nyumba
Nyumba
Kumi.
Yeah.
Interestingly, like, so if you talk about Lower Kabete, was one of the guys who actually started
Wow.
growing it. Then Wanye Road was started by me
Yeah.
and a few guys here and there
Yeah.
because there was a need. And now zingine tu najipataga tu ndani, so
Yeah.
if we meet, I'm in your Nyumba Kumi.
Nyumba Kumi really helps us, just know each other, know what's going on around us. But we want to encourage Nyumba Kumis for outside Nairobi. Like you should have some, najua kuna moja 58 Nakuru, like kuna ya Kilifi riders. Like, so find community around you, but also get in touch with PBAC so that we connect with the other leaders. Because we have groups that have all the leaders, incoming and outgoing leaders. So we have just leadership of various communities. So join us. Let's all come together, and with a louder voice, you can be able to do so much more.
Yeah.
Odek, what does your wife think about you on two wheels from the time she met you?
She understands me. So every time I tell her, like this past Saturday, I saw the sun and I was so happy.
You're like, my babe.
I like, wow, kujua imetokea. So I told her, hey, I've not ridden for a while. She was like, okay. So in fact, I left the house because I was going for a talk for WBA.
Yeah.
Finished the talk. I texted and I was like, hey, me, naona hii jua venye mwaka hivi. Naweza enda raundi. She was like, okay, go. So she understands the times I need the rides.
Yeah. I love the permission.
She understands.
Cute.
We talk about it. In fact, the time she'll tell me, "Unaja ride pikipiki sana, so you just go out and ride." I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she supports it,
Yeah.
and she's also nangoja tu arudi tu kwa barabara.
Yes. Even too.
Yeah, ride because ni bike ndio kubwa.
Yes.
But if she had a small bike like yours,
Yeah.
it would be awesome. Sunuzie.
Now, I can rent it out to you mwende pamoja on a date,
okay.
but you bring it back.
Okay.
Anything
okay.
for you guys. I will do anything for you guys.
Okay.
The people who are watching and they're like, I want to be Odek when I grow up. I want to ride. I want to get on 2 wheels. What would you say to them?
Don't think. Just
do
do
it.
it.
It's your birthday?
It's your thing.
Yeah.
Just do it. We'll be here. Let me share about Kagiri. So when Kagiri started riding, so she was so excited about it. In fact, I don't know why she put a cover on her bike. It was pink. Then she later changed it and put it to blue. But
Purple.
Now it's purple.
Yeah.
You ilikuwa purple or pink?
It was pink.
No,
Then
it's
I changed it to purple.
Oh, okay.
Because your pink ilikuwa imewaka sana.
Sana. So now, later she calls me. She's like, oh, I don't know what we're doing. She's like, I told her I'll take you home.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
There's always a part of escorting.
Escorting. So if you're new, if we meet, in fact, if I meet you on the road and I see an L sign, I can even leave where I was going to ensure you get to where you're going. Then I'll turn back. So Kagiri is like, I'm afraid. I've never used it. I was like, okay, I'll take you. So we go to Kibera. There's a hill that looks like this. If you see it, you get scared. So I'm like, okay, Kagiri, when you get there, just either 1, or if you're riding, just get to 3 and proceed.
This was your fault.
Yes. So Kagiri, I don't know where she gets. She stalls the bike, puts it aside. So I'm going and I'm looking at my side mirror. I'm like, where's Kagiri? I'm like, Kerry, where are you?
Oh, God.
Then I left the bike, went down. Imagine I had to go down the hill, get Kerry's bike, ride it up.
And then he leaves it on a hill.
Then she's like, no, take it up.
That was still a hill.
Yeah, then I take it up again. Then I had to come for my bike. These are some of the things we do. So you not struggle when you're there.
But let me tell you the truth. What happened is, let me tell you guys what happened. So I got to the bottom of the hill and we're moving. Then I remember him saying gear 3. So I quickly tapped to gear 3. So immediately you go to gear 3 from gear 1, of course you're gonna stall. So I just feel the bike is getting heavy and it's not moving. So mimi kazi yangu ilikuwa nduru. Woo! Naanguka! Woo! So these border guys, you don't even know this part. These border guys run and I'm like, wewe una gear? Wewe una helmet? Wewe hujui kuride bike yangu? Si ni ile gear ya nini? No, they're different gears. So our gears are different. It's 1 chini, neutral, then 2, 3, up, then up. So they're like, hii si ni ile gear ya Honda. You know, the guys, I was like, no, I have a guy and I'm with someone. I'm not alone. So I just like, nisaidieni tu isimame. And I stood there. So Odek, by the way, let me tell you, he's nice, but that day he was not so nice to me.
Because it's your
Because you go to the first hill, you're like, sawa. Ingia. I'm like, this is still a hill. How do I hill start? But now the worst part, what Odek did that was so bad. He called my coach.
Yeah.
So my coach, I'm thinking I'm going for a regular riding class. So we ride with my coach, we get somewhere in Karen, it's a hill like this, and he says, stop. And I stopped and I had to learn hill start. And that's how I have not died yet. Thank you.
Nowadays you can use Kingara.
Kingara road. What's a Kingara? You know that car did Olenguruone. It's still a car steep one. You know, go before that roundabout for Kileleshwa, Ole Tok, Olenguruone Likoni Road. Yeah. So but I still stop at that car wash. When it goes green, I just.
But the story is we are there for you. You can hit us up. Even now, I see Kagiri taking people to different places, and I'm like, yeah, this is what we did for you. So
that's true.
So
That's true. Men, let's talk. Let's find spaces where we can talk. That's a huge part of what Odek is sharing. As well as behind the helmet lives a great man. Let's celebrate Calvin Odek. Woo, 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 woo,
Thank you.
woo. Doing the most for the community, doing the most for his family, which is so sweet. Doing the most for the church community in Kenya. Just doing the most, the most, the most. This has been Behind the Helmet. It's time for us to wind down this episode, and we'll see you next week. I want to encourage you, share this video. I want to encourage you to comment down below, like and subscribe to this channel, because we bring you some juicy stuff. From me, Kerry Kagiri,
Calvin Odek.
it's adios, hasta la vista,
Kwaheri.
baby. Kwaheri. Thank you so much. That was so good.
All right, today let's talk about what you need to get ready for your journey, or as you go to ride your bike. So one of the things you need is proper boots, just to help you that in case of anything, your legs are protected, your feet is protected. The other thing you need is either a jeans that is good for you for your riding, where it's protected, well protected, because it has to have shin guards, knee guards, and even thigh protection. Then after that, you need to have a proper jacket, just to ensure that one, usipate homa. Two, if in case of an accident, it's well kitted that it can take your view. The other thing you need to have is kitu tunaitaka kamisi, lakini si kamisi. It's basically a balaclava that you put on. And there are mistakes we do where we put on the gloves before putting on these things. Then put on your helmet, make sure it's well tied in. Then wear your gloves. Then make sure that everything is well sorted out. Then you can start your journey off. That's what you need to